Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into a brand new edition of Cory Comments On. I'm your host, Cory McKnight. You're the lovely audience, as always, and you can join me, as always, every Friday right here on All WNY Radio at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just in case you need to know, because we're in New York, so we're on EST. Anyways, it is January 18th, 2019, and it's National Winnie the Pooh Day, which is kind of just cute, I guess. I don't really have much to say about Winnie the Pooh, but he's cool. So, I don't know, go buy a stuffed animal or something. It's like part of everybody's childhood, I think. At least mine. Hopefully everyone. Winnie the Pooh was a cool guy. So anyways, yeah, go get a stuffed animal. I don't know, it's Winnie the Pooh Day. But I want to start off the show with the major bummer announcement that, unfortunately, the 2018 All WNY Awards ceremony has been postponed due to inclement weather. God damn it. Who would imagine in Western New York in January we would have a humongous fucking shitstorm about to roll through on Saturday, which is when we're going to hold it tomorrow in the afternoon. It would have been a good time, but we're still going to do it. So, fuck winter for rolling around and pissing on our parade. But postpone, date to be announced. We're still going to do it. And maybe it'll just build up the suspense a little more. Who's going to win these awards? Best podcast? Oh, we're all waiting with bated breath to see. Cory Comments On. Come on. But yeah, I'm just super bummed that something that I was really looking forward to is going to get peed on by old man winter. And I basically just want to say, fuck winter for the first part of the show here. I hate you. You're grumpy. You're an old man. Grumpy old man. Winter, basically... Nah, it's not even like a grumpy old man. Winter is like the guy at the party, or the girl at the party, that just hangs around way too long. Annoying ass house guest. They're making a mess everywhere. Everything's wet all over the place. And you want them to leave immediately, but they just hang around for way too long. That's what winter is. So if you're at a party and you're being a bummer and... Well, I guess you wouldn't really know if you're being a bummer. Other people would have to tell you. But if you're making a mess and everything's wet around you and people want you to leave, you're probably being a bummer. You're being like winter. We just want you out of here. Just come around and hang around way too long. And it sucks really bad that the show will go on at a later date and not tomorrow, because I was hyped for that. We're going to have a good time. We're still going to have a good time. So as soon as we know when we're going to have a good time, you're going to know. Probably within seconds. The internet's crazy. But other than just being bummed as hell about the award ceremony being pushed back, I'm also kind of bummed about the state of the Buffalo Sabres. So, second half of the show, award ceremony, that sucks. Buffalo Sabres, you also are kind of sucking right now. You're bumming me out, like the weather. They went on a 10-game win streak. I don't even know if I talked about that on the show. This is like my favorite thing probably in history to talk about on Cory Comments On. Haven't covered the Sabres in a while, but other than them just sucking lately after the 10-game win streak, there was a particular scenario or article that caught my eye to do with the Sabres that was hot off the presses just like an hour ago or some shit, a few minutes ago on Twitter. And it is an interview with former Sabre, unfortunately, Patrik Berglund, who, if you follow the team, which maybe you do if you're listening to All WNY Radio, you might remember he only played about, 20 games, maybe, or 15 games. And we got him in a trade from St. Louis where he was an impact player. He was good. Like, he was on their top line, probably. He was helping them getting deep into the playoffs the past couple of years when they were decent, or maybe a couple of years ago, but he's good. And when we got him in the trade, I was excited. And then he started playing, and I was like, yes, here we go. We have Patrik Berglund. And he, quit after 15 games or something. Not very long, and he didn't even do anything when he did play, really. He didn't have a lot of ice time, like 1 or 2 points, if I remember correctly. Might have been 1 or 2. And I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? He eventually stopped showing up for practice, and I think he even didn't show up to a game that he was supposed to be in, the starting lineup for. And the team had to suspend him, obviously. I mean, you can't just ghost on a team that's paying you millions of dollars, whatever, a year. So they suspended him. I'm sure they tried to get in touch with the guy, but it just seemed like he fell off the face of the earth. So the team released him. I think he might have went through waivers, whatever, but it doesn't matter. Even if somebody claimed him, he's not even going to play the rest of the year. But the only reason we know that is because he finally gave an interview in this article that I just saw a few minutes ago for the first time since like early December when he left the team and bummed everybody out. But we finally kind of know sort of the reason behind it. So now that I've read that, got both sides of the story, I don't know. He claims, Mr. Berglund here, the defendant, claims that he was having trouble, that he felt like shit, that he didn't feel like he should for someone that was living his dream ever since, I guess, he made the change to Buffalo, or I don't know. But he claims that he loves the team and that he wanted to play for Buffalo, and he's mad that he let the city down, the team down, his teammates, staff, everybody. The popcorn guy, very let down. That shit costs like $9, jeez. Don't get popcorn at the Sabres game or any fucking sporting event. But yeah, he says he's sad to let everybody down because he was dealing with stuff, I'm assuming, off the ice issues, and that's just a fact of life that these guys are humans too. They have a clearly high stress job. They're like getting hit in the face with pucks all the time, and they have families. They got, the regular stress of having a family, and sometimes they get bummed out and need some time, and that's okay if you're a human being. We should have compassion for one another. But I thought it was just kind of fucked up that he ghosted on the team, pretty much. But his side of the story coming out now is eerily reminiscent to a couple of Sabres, one that still plays for the team, one that doesn't. Kyle Oposo had a real hard time with like concussion symptoms after he took like a routine hit and just didn't feel right, had to step away for a while. He came back, he's been all right, but I'm just glad he's healthy. Hockey-wise, he's been all right, but he's a healthy guy. I'm glad to see that. Robin Lehner, if you remember, our former goaltender, he took a ton of shit from the Buffalo fans and media, and after leaving the team, it come to find out he was struggling with alcoholism, suicidal thoughts, all kinds of depression and problems, and just these guys are human too. That's basically what I'm getting to. So now that we've seen, finally, a little bit of the side of the story of Patrik Berglund, even though the interview's in freaking Swedish, unfortunately. I wish it was in English. But he's from Sweden, so, what can you expect? His name's Berglund. Of course he's from Sweden. But it shed a little light onto the situation. I'm glad it did, because I was probably roasting him the same way that everybody else in Buffalo was. We were pretty bummed about that a good player would just come over, quit on the team. Kind of like that dude for the Bills that fucking quit at halftime, retired at halftime, even. I don't think Patrik Berglund's going to retire. He's near prime age for his career, not too old, really. He could play a few more years, but he says he's done for the rest of the season. His future is in question, and that he just needs to get his mind together or whatever, and that's okay with me, I guess. I'm not too mad at the guy. So I'm just glad to know, like, a little bit more about what happened. But anyways, I want to know what you think. Forget what I think. You're only listening to the show to give your opinion, right? Hit me up on Twitter at All WNY Cory and tell me how bummed you are that the awards ceremony is postponed. Tell me how bummed you are that Patrik Berglund is a dick and gave up, but then maybe he's not so much of a dick. What do you think? Is he? Is he not? Do you buy the whole off the ice stuff? Let me know. At All WNY Cory. We'll talk about it. We'll chat about whatever you want. And I'll be back Friday at 6 p.m. right here on All WNY Radio with another fantastic 10 minutes of programming. Thank you for joining me here today. I will see you guys next week. Cory McKnight signing off. Take care.